Yeah, it's really cool.
You guys, these are one at a time.
Oh, okay.
Carolyn will go, then we'll do Bill, then Clancy.
Yep.
Okay.
You can do an interview right now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing an interview, baby. That's my girl. Okay.
Perfect. First and foremost, can you believe it's been 20 years?
I cannot believe it's been 20 years. What the heck?
Where did the time go?
Where did the time go? It happened so fast. It's so interesting because it went really, really quickly, and then parts of it seem like there's been a huge, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's both at the same time.
Sure. Now, do you remember when you landed the part? Do you remember going back to getting the call saying, hey, we want you?
Yeah, but I had no idea. I mean, it was, always excited to book a job, but who knew? I mean, who knew it would be so crazy? So that was a wild turn of events.
Now, do you remember the time when you realized that the show became as big as it's been? Was there ever a moment like, wow, it's gotten really big now?
I think when I saw products at Target, I was like, what? Because I've done so many things, but never something that would be that mass marketed in that way.
Do you have any favorite lines from the show? Just anything that goes back to any memory, something you always say, something that you just love saying maybe?
Well, I know fans always ask me to do Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan. Don't mess with Texas. That's a good one. I like all the yee-haws and the the karate.
But you know what that is. Have you ever used your voice to trick maybe telemarketers or friends or family? Just like pick up the phone and they're like, wait, who is this? Or...
Not as Sandy, but I do little kids so that people don't bother me. Because I can say, my mom's not home right now, and just hang up on them. Yeah.
Perfect. Now, does SpongeBob go down in the history books as one of the best cartoons of a generation, maybe?
I think so.
Like the Flintstones?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
SpongeBob.
I think it's going to go down in history. It's so hard to think about. Like, it's so surreal, honestly, that it's still hard for me to grasp how large it is. When I travel and you go to other countries and it's there and people are talking about it, and it's amazing. And so if I think about it too much, my head goes, but yes, I think it will.
Perfect. And last but not least, where do you think SpongeBob's going to be in another 20 years?
Hopefully right here. 20 years, right here.
Perfect. Easy enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Down the line.
Sure.
Not a job interview, fortunately.
So for this, we'll just be looking at me directly the whole time?
Intently.
Intently.
Perhaps making you uncomfortable.
Perhaps. You're good? All right, perfect. All right, so SpongeBob SquarePants, can you believe it's been 20 years?
Yeah, my children were 5 and 7 when it debuted, and now they're 25 and 27. So, when you're a parent, your children are often the signpost to remind you that 20 years has gone by. So, in that regard, yes. I suppose, with a lot of different careers, people might expect to have a job for 20 years. That obviously with actors, because we're basically shiftless carnies, to have something that long is extraordinary. And trust me, any actor that dreams of someday having a job for 20 years is probably not in the right profession.
Sure. Now, do you remember how or when you landed the part? Do you remember phone call saying, hey, we want to use you kind of thing? Can you remember that moment or no?
I can't say I remember that moment. I certainly remember when I met Steven Hillenburg during the audition. I could tell immediately that he was an extraordinary person. And then when I knew I would get to work with him, of course I was happy to, because at the end of the day, if you can do strong material and work with good people, you can't really ask for anything more.
Sure. Now, the animation has progressed through the years. Do you remember maybe the one moment where wow, this is a big deal now? Maybe when it first started compared to where it is now. Do you remember maybe that one day that it finally was wow, it really took off kind of thing?
Well, there was this sea change. I think it was probably in season 2 when Wall Street Journal did an article about it, and I think the New Yorker Entertainment. All of a sudden, we were getting all this press because the press likes to be able to say, hey, there's this amazing thing that, so a lot of press got involved with that. So that was really exciting because you're kind of just like, you're in the little soundstage and the little studio and you're doing a thing, and as far as you know, there's just some kids watching it, and all the kids at the elementary school, when I pick my kids up, they're very excited, but other than that, and then boom, New Yorker,
Sure. Now, do you have any maybe favorite Patrick lines from the show, or just something you always say, just something that's always in the back of your mind, you're constantly saying, or any favorite lines you want to share?
Sure. I mean, I was doing a phone interview at my house once, and they asked me if I ever talked like Patrick around the house. And I said no, and my daughter at the time was about 8 or 9, and she went, oh, Dad, whenever you see a spider, you go, spider, spider, spider. So I wasn't even a conscious thing I was doing, but it was just a moment that I enjoyed doing, that I enjoyed seeing in the cartoon, and suddenly it's part of my brain structure.
Sure. Now, have you ever used your voice maybe to trick telemarketers or friends or family? Any time you used your voice maybe different?
Oh boy, telemarketers, man. You come up with the right thing for me to do with Patrick there, I'll jump on it. No, I have not.
All right, and how about, does SpongeBob go down in the history books as one of the best cartoons of a generation, from the Flintstones, Jetsons, SpongeBob now? It's just such a generational epic cartoon now.
Well, I can tell you that Clancy, Tom, myself, I'm sure Carolyn, and Roger Bumpus, and Doug Lawrence, I'm sure, we all were influenced by great cartoons like Looney Tunes, like the Warner Brothers and Chuck Jones. And I mean, that animation had a lot of impact on us. And if we can be thought of as being a classic cartoon, that's a wonderful thing, and certainly not something I can speculate about. I just love my job.
Perfect. All right, great. You're good? You're good. All right, perfect. So, first of all, can you believe it's been 20 years for SpongeBob SquarePants?
No, we were just saying that it doesn't feel like 20 years. It's people always talk about the very first time we did it, and it feels like we just did it. And then we're not keeping track.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, we're only in season 13. So it's been 20 years, but it's season 13. So yeah, it's all, the math is, I don't trust math. Math is not right. 20 years, forget that. We just did it. It just started.
Now, do you remember how you landed the part, or the day maybe you got the phone call about being a part of this?
Yeah, somebody sent me a script. They sent me a meeting time, and I said, what is this? And they said, well, it's to play a crab. And I said, well, I don't know what a crab sounds like. And they said, yeah, well, just, he's like a skinflint owner of this thing, and he sounds like maybe just do a pirate voice or something. So I just made up a pirate voice, and then Steve came in and said, okay, that was good enough, I guess.
Now, I was asking everybody else too, do you remember the time maybe when you realized this show is now a big deal? Because I mean, there's been so many generations of the animation just progressing to where maybe that one time where, wow, SpongeBob is now everywhere. Do you remember a moment where you thought the show was just really big now?
I don't know. What do the other guys say?
What'd you say?
New York, remember those when those articles started coming out?
Yeah,
So a lot of press.
we kind of stopped doing it after the third season, and we all thought that was the end. And I think when they came back and said, well, you know what, guys, I think we want to record more, and they actually paid us a little bit more, and I think that's when I realized, wait a minute, they would never pay us more if they weren't making a hell of a lot of money.
How about favorite lines? I mean, is there something that sticks out to you?
Yeah.
Just everything that you always say?
There's an episode where called My Pretty Seahorse, where SpongeBob has a seahorse, and he names the seahorse Mystery, and he tells Mr. Krabs that Mr. Krabs is not going to let the seahorse into the Krusty Krab, but SpongeBob's very excited, and he says, and I've named my seahorse mystery, Mr. Krabs, and I'd look at SpongeBob for a beat and say, "You're a mystery, SpongeBob." So that's my favorite line. "You're a mystery, SpongeBob." I didn't say it in the. You're a mystery, SpongeBob. There you go. Okay, how's that?
Have you ever used your voice to trick maybe telemarketers or friends or family on the phone or?
The Mr. Krabs voice?
Yeah.
No, I'll do it for friends and family. But,
Now, how about for SpongeBob? Do you think it'll go down in history, in the history books, as one of the best cartoons of a generation, up there with Flintstones, Looney Tunes, SpongeBob?
better than those.
Yeah.
Way better than those. That's the best cartoon ever.
Sure.
Yeah, what, I mean, what kind of trying to insult me here? They're like, it's the best cartoon ever made, and it'll be the best cartoon ever, ever, ever. Until the end of Earth.